What they do, Jones crew, it's your girl Crystal, and I'm back at you again with another lit video. You already know the vibes. Yo, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment. We gonna get straight on into this video. Now, this is the full interview of Samantha, which is the brand new eyewitness that's come forward that was with Takeoff the night of the incident in Houston, Texas. She's being interviewed by her boyfriend slash husband. We don't know yet what he is. They're referring to each other as exes. She's being interviewed by him. Here go the whole video, full breakdown. Let's get into it. First, I do want to give a special shout out to Mickey Truth 2022. Go follow her on Instagram. I did get the footage on the last video from her. You know, you just definitely want to give credit where credit's due. So shout out to Mickey Truth for posting that footage. I do got the real footage. Let's get into it. Now, I do have the real footage and we going to get right on into it. Let's go.
Or what did you see when you got to the club?
So I went to the club and I let Takeoff know that I was there. And I went inside and I walked to him.
Okay, so you went to the, you got dropped off or you got to the club. And so you're saying you went into the club. Well, you told him you were there. You went into the club and then you seen him, I guess, and then you walked towards him. How was the vibe and, what happened then?
So we were just talking and kicking it and there was a lot going on. So I just sat back.
So when you were saying that, it was a lot going on or whatever when you got there, and I'm sure it was like a bunch of people, so I know it was like kind of crowded and loud, you know how the club scene is. So I know you couldn't like, hey, talk, say too much, but like, what were you saying to him? And like, when you say it was so much going on, what do you mean?
So we were just talking and I was asking him about why he left me in the bed. And the vibe just felt off, like something bad was in the air.
Okay, so you were there talking, you said like, basically you felt like the vibe wasn't right. It just, however you felt at the moment. And so you were talking to him about why he left you in the bed. And so like what else was going on? Like, was it like, I don't know, like did you see a lot of people there around him? How was things going?
So there was a lot of people there and too many people around him. So I just sat back and relaxed.
So that's understandable. So it was a lot of people, around and everything. So I know you probably couldn't really get to talk because I know how the club scene is, and then by him being fucking Takeoff, I know it was just like a lot of fucking people around. So, did you happen to see any of the Prince family, Jay Prince or I think his name Josh Prince or whatever his name is?
Yeah, there were a lot of people there. I saw Jay Prince and Jazz Prince there too.
So you were there, and it was I think it was a birthday party or something that was going on there. One of the Prince brothers I seen online or whatever, and so what how long do you think that you were there?
So all I remember is I was probably there like an hour or maybe two tops.
So after all the partying and everything that was going on, your next move, did he tell you the next move that you guys are gonna do, or like what happened after everyone was about to leave? We don't need to know like what was going on in the party, but like what was the plan? Like, did he tell you, hey, we about to go do this, or like, so how did it go on the next movement that y'all made?
So we were talking in between the party, and then he told me that we were going to the next place, and we got there.
So you guys left the party or whatever, and then you went to the next spot. Um, what was all going on when you went to the next spot? Like, what did you do when you went to the next place?
So when we got there, they were playing dice on the pool table, and I didn't want to be around because I don't gamble. So I just sat down behind them.
Okay, so you were at the next place. you said you sat down like behind them or whatever, and they were all playing dice. Was Takeoff playing dice too, or who all were playing dice?
So from what I could see, they were all playing dice except for Takeoff, and I was messaging him while I was behind him.
So everyone was playing dice except Takeoff. So they were all, I guess, around each other, crowding up like how guys play dice or whatever. And so you were messaging him. What exactly were you saying to him when you were messaging him?
Basically, I was messaging him saying that I was worried because there were so much arguments going on.
Okay, so when you say like arguments or whatever, was it Takeoff arguing, Quavo, the Prince brothers, who all were the ones arguing?
It was pretty much everybody that was playing dice, even the people that were just standing around the table, they were arguing too.
So while everyone was arguing, did you happen to see Takeoff arguing with anybody? Or like was it just everybody else? Like was he arguing?
Everybody was arguing except for Takeoff.
Okay, so everybody was arguing or whatever. And you said Takeoff was arguing. Do you know like what they were actually arguing about if you could hear it?
So from what I could hear, it was something about somebody cheating and that it wasn't the right number.
So while you were hearing all the arguing that was going on, what did you happen to walk over to Takeoff, or what were you talking to him about like while everyone was arguing or whatever?
Well, I didn't want to walk over to him because I was scared, but I was messaging him to make sure if he was okay.
So while you were messaging him, what did he say when you were messaging him, while the commotion was going on, people were arguing?
So I messaged him and he said that everything was going to be okay, but I still felt scared.
So while everybody was arguing everything, did you kind of feel that something bad was going to happen, with everybody arguing? Because I know you were saying that you were possibly, no, you said that you were scared. So, like, did you really feel that something was going to happen that night?
Yes, it was too many arguments. I even seen an argument in the club.
So when you said that you were ready to go, I don't know how long you guys were there with all the arguments and everything that was going on. What did he say when you were said that, hey, I'm ready to go, get the hell up out of here?
So he kept repeating that everything was going to be okay.
So he basically told you that, hey, everything's gonna be good or whatever, and I assume that, since you stayed that you felt everything was gonna be okay. But how long in between him saying that guys were about to leave that you actually left?
He kept wanting to leave, but they wanted to keep going.
So they kept playing, and then you just waited on them, I assume. And so when they finally stopped playing, what happened after that?
So as we were leaving out, they started arguing again, and then they played dice outside.
So they start walking out. It was arguments going on or whatever, and it was at the same area where everything happened at. Um, and so what happened then?
So from what I saw, they were playing dice, and then the argument started again.
And during the argument, what was Takeoff doing? Was he arguing? Like, what was going on?
No, Takeoff wasn't arguing. He was just watching.
So while Takeoff was sitting there watching while everyone was arguing, I know you want to go too much in details, you say, but did you think that anything was going on? What was going on at that time?
So they were still arguing, and I messaged him to see if everything was okay.
So when they were arguing, did it seem like they were arguing about the same thing? And what was he saying in the message?
So I couldn't really hear what they were arguing about, but he kept messaging that everything was okay.
Okay, so he told you everything was gonna be okay or whatever to you, and so did you think what did you want to do?
I just kept telling him that I was scared and that I wanted to leave.
So from where exactly were you sitting, standing, or where were you at when everything, the argument and everything was like going on?
There were so many people that I kept trying to get next to him, but I just backed up and went away from the crowd.
So when you went back away from the crowd, could you still see everything that went on when everything happened?
Yeah, I saw everything that happened.
So you said that you seen every single thing that happened at that moment. So what did you do when everything transpired? Because I know you said you don't really want to get into the exact details. You want to say that for officers or a bigger platform to talk. I understand. But what happened when you seen everything?
Yeah, I saw everything that happened and I didn't want to die, so I ran.
So commotion was going on, everything was happening. What like where did you run to? Did you run to the vehicle that you came in? Like where did you run to?
So when I ran away from everybody, and once I got, to a safe place, I called an Uber.
Okay, so when you called the Uber and left, where did you take the Uber to?
So I was too scared to go back to the room, so I just took the Uber to the airport.
So you just took an Uber to the airport. Okay, so you took an Uber to the airport. What was your next move?
So I went to the airport and just waited till I could get a flight, and I just went and flew back home.
Okay, so you flew home, and what did you think was going on?
So while I was waiting to depart, I was messaging everybody trying to figure out if he was okay, and then I saw on social media that he didn't make it.
So you find out that Takeoff dead. And so like, did you flew home, I guess, or whatever? And did you hear from like who did you hear from when you left and everything like that?
So I messaged everybody and no one responded.
That's wild. So you said and nobody responds. So at this moment today, have you heard from anybody? Because I know you didn't hear from nobody around that time when everything was going on. Since then, have you heard from anybody that was with him that day or anybody?
Yeah, I've been messaging everybody that I could remember that was there, but nobody has hit me back.
So like now that you know everything and you were there that whole night with him, you spent the night or whatever, whatever went down, you were there with him. Um, if you were able to talk to the police or anybody to help with the case, would you do it?
Yeah, I'm willing to talk to anybody to help this case. That's why I'm doing interviews and reaching out so this case can be solved.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. I know you want to help because you guys were close at the time, and like, that's real good. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
I just want to say I'm sorry to the family, and if they need anything from me that could help, they can always reach out to me.
So that's cool that you're willing to help out anything. From a personal level, because I know you guys connected, when you were in the room and, different things, I'm not going to get into your guys' business together. But do you miss him any? Like, how do you feel about everything?
Of course, I miss him. I just wish we had more time to spend with each other and build on this relationship that we were planning on.
So I noticed, like, from your last boyfriend, he was in the industry or whatever, and you have friends in the industry or whatever, and so like, do you think that he might have had a girl at the time or whatever? Like, how do you feel like what was going to continue with you two?
Yeah, I'm not stupid. I know these rappers and people in the industry have multiple people around, and we were just gonna build from what we started.
So it's been almost maybe a week since then, maybe longer. Why are you just now talking with people like about the situation? Because I noticed you were on Clubhouse the other day. Why are you just now talking?
So yeah, I just want to help the family and get this case solved. I was waiting for people to reach out and no one ever did. So I'm just trying to reach out to make sure people know that they can come and talk to me if they need information.
Okay, that's cool. So we'll just continue on with more about this and different details in between. And if you continue to watch the video, at the end of the video, we'll have the messages between her and him and different things. And whenever she does more interviews, she will have pictures with them together and all that other stuff. So just come back and we'll have part two.
All right, guys, that was the interview. Now, as you can see, she did mention J. Prince Jr. as being there and being arguing with Quavo and whatnot. So, guys, I don't know. Form your own opinion here. Let's get the conversation flowing. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well. As we all know, everybody's been talking about J. Prince Jr., allegedly being the one that Takeoff was arguing with. Now we have this eyewitness coming out saying she's seen everything, blase, blase. So I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on this story for y'all. I'm going to definitely update y'all every moment, every second, every information, every piece of information that I get. I'm going to give it to y'all. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment down below. See you next time.